Check, check, 1, 2. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to T South Dakota. And the T Soccer Stadium sits just west of the high school. We will be joining you today for girls soccer first, followed up by boys soccer. We're about a minute away. We'll turn it over to the voice of Titans soccer, Tomahawk Tosh. We'll introduce you to the starters, and we'll play our national anthem. We'll let you listen in on that. And then we'll be back here along with state champion baseball coach Rick Williamson. I'm joined again tonight by local soccer expert extraordinaire Chris Murray. Chris, thanks for joining us again tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me again. It was a great time the other day, even though it was my inaugural broadcast. I had a ton of fun, and you made it very, very easy. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us. I heard a lot of good things, a lot of people that tuned in and watched, and so we'll be back in just a second. We'll turn it over to public address announcer Tom Tosh.
That takes pride in keeping our communities clean. Our trucks collect trash efficiently, while our friendly staff ensures satisfaction. We make residential and commercial trash removal easy and painless. Make the switch to RBS Sanitation, the company your neighbors trust. When life gets messy, trust us to help you clean it up. Call us today at 605-213-0138.
I'm so loud, I'm sure they're worried about people like me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to T Area High School. In today's contest, we welcome our visitors, the Tigers of Harrisburg High School, as they take on your Titans. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, today by T Area Choir Director Janice Gilbert. Proper flag etiquette is to stand at attention, face the flag with your right hand over your heart, and remove all headwear. All active duty military personnel or veterans not in uniform may salute the flag. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. We'd like to welcome our junior Titans this morning. They are here to help us usher in the inaugural season of AA soccer. Schools participating in this event are members of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, and they have adopted the rules under which this game is conducted. A strong commitment to excellence, fair play, and sportsmanship are all vital to this event's success. Remember to cheer in a positive manner and be respectful of the officials' decisions. And those officials are Nicole Hofstad, Morgan Glenn, and Aaron Stansberry. They are registered by the State of South Dakota High School Activities Association, and they have worked hard to learn the rules and administer them at this event. And we request that you respect your honest efforts in officiating this contest. Now let's meet the starting liners first for our visitors, the Tigers of Harrisburg High School. Number 00, a sophomore goalkeeper, Reagan Shelsky. Number 2, senior defender, Abigail Denneman. Number 3, junior forward midfielder, Auburn Barrett. Number 4, junior forward, Naya Aware. Number 5, junior defender, Isabella Smithbach. Number 7, junior midfielder, Bryn Scogan. Number 8, junior defender midfielder, Claire Backstrom. Number 9, senior midfielder, Adelaide Buddig. Also a co-captain. Number 12, sophomore forward defender, Taylor Severson. Number 21, sophomore defender, Bria Miller. And number 28, freshman forward, Riley Gallagher. Assistant coaches for the Tigers are Emily Hans and Stacia Rawhauser-Mintz. Head coach, Haley Fisher. Now let's meet starters for your team, the TAHS Titans. A senior forward, number 9, Kendra Nielsen. Junior midfielder, number 10, Ellen Coleman. Senior defender, number 13, Maya Newhart. Number 15, senior forward, Elena Otten. Number 19, senior midfielder, Corey Wilson. Number 20, a junior defender, Olivia Johnson. Number 23, sophomore defender, Kate Giles. Number 25, junior midfielder, Sage Hoffman. Number 26, senior forward, Kyla Lee. Number 37, senior goalkeeper, Abby Munson. And number 38, senior defender, Reese Hammerquist. Assistant coaches are Brooke Piper and Jasmine Sumich, and your head coach is Mark Anderson.
There we are,
It's time
Tommy
for some
Tush.
high school soccer.
The starters for the TAHS Titans shaking hands with the starters for the Harrisburg Tigers, shaking hands with the starters for the TAHS Titans. And so as we enter this one, Harrisburg comes in on a 21-game win streak that dates back to the second game of the season last year. They opened against a nice-looking Mitchell Colonels team, lost that one 3-2. They haven't lost, they haven't tied since then, 21 games. This year so far, Harrisburg has beat Mitchell 2-0, has beat Yankton 1-0, has beat Brandon Valley 2-1, and most recently Aberdeen Central 2-0. So the Titans have their work cut out for them today. The Titans enter this one. They started 3-0 and a tie against Yankton 2 nights ago. And to be honest, the Titans were lucky to get a tie. They couldn't get much going. Late, I believe under 10 minutes to go in the second half, a Yankton defender went to drop it to the goalkeeper and dropped it into the goal instead. So Titans were able to get the 1-1 tie, lucky to have that. So 4-0 for Harrisburg, 3-0-1 for the Titans. And this would be possibly nice to, maybe this is going to turn into the rivalry that the Titans saw against West Central when the Titans a long time ago were in Class A just a few months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these are two very, very, very equal teams, very, very good teams with a lot of talent.
There's a goal.
There's a goal early. Wow.
Nice shot.
That one kind of came out of nowhere from about 30 yards out and just kind of floated right over Abby's head. That's probably one of the hardest plays in the game to make, especially for a keeper, and especially very, very early in the game. They're going to have to pick it up now, and that's going to be a pretty early wake-up call.
Yeah, just like you said, an unexpected, just a floater. You saw when she kicked it, you knew it was going to be. Munson's not, isn't short, but isn't overly tall. And so I believe that was, from what I saw, number 3, Auburn Barrett, I believe.
Auburn's been playing the game for a long time and is supremely talented. And for as small as she is, she's got one of the strongest legs on their team. And she's just she just works very, very hard, works at a high work rate, and played quite a bit even last year.
Yeah, great shot. There's a nice ball by Wilson, but it's picked off by Harrisburg. It's Backstrom.
That's one of the things that T's going to have to adjust to, is this Harrisburg team doesn't always score from inside the 18 box, but
sure,
they're more than willing to put the ball in the air from distance if you don't put any pressure on them.
Harrisburg, we have to mention this. They have a couple players on their bench in street clothes that they would like to see in a uniform. Number 10, Tierney Milady, all-state player and a senior. She's out. Also, Taylor Holstonson, another mid-defender, all-state player, is also not playing today for the Tigers. And I believe there's one more.
Yeah. Yep, there's also Reagan Pesca, who's probably one of the best women's hockey players in the state. She's also injured. She had hip surgery. But with Tierney and Taylor, pretty easily they're probably the 2 best center backs in the state when healthy. And they're going to be missed a little bit here. Hopefully they've had some time to gel without them. But missing those 2 pieces on what was last year probably one of the best back lines the state's probably ever seen.
Wow.
Those two were the cornerstones of that defense and are just phenomenal defenders.
Titans looked like they had a chance there, cleaned up by the goalkeeper. I think what these injuries do, what this is going to do for the Tigers, win or lose here today, it's going to strengthen their depth later on in the year, and they're going to be a better team because of this. I know they want those players on the field, and we were hoping to watch them too today. So are any of those 3, how many are coming back? I believe one, you said hip, one is a concussion, and one is ACL, possibly?
Yeah, Tierney Milady tore her ACL this summer preparing for USYS Nationals for Dakota Alliance. She was on Afton's team, and like I said, was very, very missed at Nationals, and it was just kind of a non-contact, kind of a fluke injury, but she's really worked hard and has really handled it very, very well, considering such a devastating injury in your senior year.
Yes.
And she'll be heading to Southern Indiana next fall to play center back for that Division I college team. So she's just, like I said, she's just one of my favorite kids. She's really super tough and just a very, very intense player on the field. And she was missed. And now with Taylor, she got hurt in the Brandon game on a header. A girl from Brandon, I think, went for the ball and missed the ball and got Taylor in the face. And so she's out with a concussion. She missed the Aberdeen game and obviously is sitting out today. Taylor will be back, and in my opinion is probably the best pure defensive player in the state, and I really don't think it's close.
Yes, we hope they heal up, and whether it's this year or next year, have a healthy return
for sure
to the game.
Yep, and Taylor will be heading to Mankato to Minnesota State to play with Afton for the Mavericks next fall. So very, very happy that she chose to go there, and they're very, very excited to have her. I know that.
Ball in the box for the Titans. Nielsen couldn't get a foot on it. Harrisburg clears it out. And here they come down the field. This is Taylor Syverson, taken away by Olivia Johnson. She's looking for Giles.
T's just got to continue to step to the ball and be aggressive and close that distance. I think that the shot from Auburn Barrett kind of surprised some people.
Surprised us.
And I was saying, including us. But I think that they're going to need to understand that they're going to have to close on players like that because they're dangerous from 30 yards in for sure.
We got a bumblebee in the box here, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it's from the game we watched last night, the Yellow Jackets. Be careful, Rick. It's right by your ear there, buddy. There it goes. We have the window open. We have an air-conditioned press box up here, and we sure love that, but we keep the window open for the camera. And
I was going to say, you could have fooled me.
A bumblebee.
But Rick's such a professional. It's going to take more than a bee flying around his ear to get him rattled. There's a good ball across
here,
the middle.
taken away by Wilson.
Look at the high pressure on from Harrisburg trying to make the back line make a mistake.
Yep.
That's going to be a key today also for the Titans to handle that pressure and their speed up at the top.
That's Nielsen, sends it up, looking.
It's a little bit strong, but that's the right idea. Maybe a little softer and play it toward the corner flag instead of down the middle. Good defense by Maya.
A nice takeaway by Newhart. Then stolen by Barrett.
Number 4, Naya Ware, is a very, very dangerous player. They're going to have to know where she's at. But they're really getting a lot of scoring from people that don't really have a lot of varsity experience, because the team last year was so unbelievable. Some of these young girls didn't really get a chance to play, and we can talk more about last year's team as well. But Naya is a very, very strong player, very, 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 very smart, very, very skilled, very fast, and very aggressive. So they're going to have to know where she is at all times.
Ball taken away, Giles up the field.
Both teams kind of doing a good job of stepping to the ball early and applying some pressure. I think that goal might have woke them both up a little bit.
Last game, I went down at halftime. It was a 0-0 game, and kind of a frustrated T-Area Titans team. And Yasmin Sumik, the assistant coach, we told you what he told the team, and he said you were making 4 good passes up the field, and then just the 5th ball, you're just kicking it just to kick it. As number 15, Lily Hirsch, a transfer, Chris, you told me, from Kentucky, enters the game.
Yeah, I was told that she moved here from Kentucky, and I've just really, really enjoyed watching her play. This is the 4th game that I've seen her play. I was a little surprised to see her not starting, but she is very, very quick, very, very good ball handling, and is a very, very talented player in the middle for Harrisburg. She has just a way of being around the ball and making things happen and putting her teammates in dangerous positions.
Yeah, ball taken away there kicked out of bounds by Olivia Johnson. And so Hirsch enters the game 8 minutes in. Nice looking Harrisburg crowd over there. You can always tell the good programs when they don't have far to go and it's a Saturday, but still they show up and support.
I was actually kind of wishing they would sit on this side, but they followed instructions, I guess. But I kind of like to hear both crowds on the same side, so I can actually hear what they're saying. That's more entertaining for me.
Yeah, and sometimes they do, because it's a little bit of a sunblock over here, but
yeah.
I suppose not this early in the morning. But Kate Giles runs it out of bounds, knocked down number 2, Abigail Ditterman.
That was actually Kaya Leekander that ran her out of bounds.
Kaya Leekander, you're right. Giles has got the pink shoes. Lekander's got the captain band on today.
Today and every day.
She's a
great kid.
Yes, talked to mom and dad before the game, and they told me to keep you under control today, is what Doug said. And I said, I'm not telling Chris anything. I'm letting him run with this thing.
Yeah, you can't stop him. You only hope to contain him. No, they're a great family, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a family who's supported their daughter more, whether it's club or high school, not missing events. Her grandparents are here from Fargo. Her sister and her fiance are here from Fargo. That's the family is just phenomenal, and their support of Kaya, and I know Kaya really appreciates it. Even
though they're from Fargo, they're still.
Well, you don't probably want to get them going about NDSU, SDSU, that kind of thing, but yeah, they'll come here and support Kaya all day long.
Well, when Lexi comes down next time, she's going to have to bring us Happy Joe's Pizza from Fargo.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lexi is just sitting down there, and yeah, Happy Joe's, that's a blast from the past.
Yes, sir. Titans throwing it in. That's Olivia Johnson. Throws it in. I believe Olivia Johnson and a few others were club
shot there,
teammates
too.
with off the field goal post. They were club teammates with Auburn Barrett, at least
Yep.
for a time.
Well, they were up and even till last year.
Okay.
They played on the same team together last year. Auburn even played a little bit for the Temple Reign, played up a little bit for the 07 team, being an 08 player. So Auburn's always shown the ability to play at a high level and play above her age. She's very, very aggressive, and you can see that when
yes.
she closes on Chloe and pressures her a little bit. There's going to be a lot of that today.
Nielsen fighting for the ball. That's Hoffman. There's Wilson, drops it to Johnson. Johnson, nowhere to go. Here's Kate Giles. She's got Maya Newhart over there. No, that's Ellie Clayberg.
That's Ellie Clayberg, yep. And Maya Newhart. Yeah, Olivia's challenge today is going to be handling the pressure and making the right decision and delivering a pass that, to her teammates' feet, and really just having her head up and playing hard. She's very aggressive and probably one of the best athletes I've seen.
So last game we did, we've live streamed soccer games for years. It was the first game where we ever had two announcers that talked all the time, me and you. Some of the feedback we got, Harrisburg free kick, was maybe explain the game a little bit more to the fans, and we don't want to insult the good fans out there who know all the rules. But as we go on, we'll kind of describe some things. One of the things is I was watching, and this is probably a good time to do it, but the defenders for the Titans, how you have the choice to play up or play back and try to draw a team off sides. And I noticed
Right.
Giles was up a little bit. I noticed Hammerquist was kind of waiting back. Where do you want to be? What's the strategy there? And does it vary per team?
I definitely think it varies depending on who you're playing. Mark likes to play kind of an offset back line, which means anything that's in a straight line on defense, in my opinion, as a coach, is bad. So you kind of stagger your back line, having the outside backs play up a little bit in front of the center backs, and that's just really to kind of be out there and be able to stop the play from the outside, where a lot of the teams like to play up the outside, because when you have a strong midfield like T has, and the defense up the middle, it gets to be pretty congested in there and gets to be a little bit tough to move the ball through the mid. So the coaches will try to play it on the outside, and that's why you see like Olivia and Maya and
Number 35, Haley.
and Abby playing high.
Sure.
There's a really good ball. Naya's fast, but I don't think she was going to win that foot race. But
Yeah. Maya's a burner.
right back up again.
Both players
Now
hit
it's
the
getting a
ground.
little
Titan,
chippy. Yeah.
Titan fans cheering, just cleared out of there by Giles.
That's great defense by Maya.
Harrisburg keeper out of the, into the game. Sarah Nasser, number 16, a freshman, and also number 35, Haley Rutten, a freshman.
Yeah, it's crazy how much these freshmen on Harrisburg have just really kind of carried them, leading them in scoring and assists and everything else. It's really impressive.
Mackenzie Thompson checks in for Elena Otten. Last game, Mackenzie Thompson started, and Otten came off the bench, so just flipping it around a little bit.
Yep, I think like I said last time, that he has just so many players that he can plug in at different positions. It's just seeing who the hot hand is and figuring that out from there. Great touch by Sage.
Yes.
Way to control that ball.
Reese Hammerquist
Good
came
save
up
by
out of the defensive
Good
spot.
save
got
by
it to her.
Kaya. Good teamwork there. Just a little unlucky.
There goes Lakander, left foot,
She
cross field.
changes the field.
This is Thompson just into the game.
Yeah, you can see that middle gets a little congested in there when outside wings try to cut across the formation.
Ball dropped to Giles.
Harrisburg's in their normal 4-3-3. T is in their normal 4-3-3. So it's just going to be very, very standard formations, very, very heads up. And like I said before, they're very, very similar teams that play similar styles. Very athletic, very aggressive, very, very well coached. Haley Fisher's done an amazing job with these girls in her very short time with the program.
Yeah, Haley, the standout goalkeeper from West Central, and then went on to SDSU and played there. How long has she been here? Is this her second year?
I believe so. She was the assistant, I believe, last year. She might have been. This might be her third year. I can't recall, but she's just been an amazing ambassador for the game. An amazing player, probably the best goalkeeper to probably ever come out of this state, and I don't think that's even really close either. But her her career at West Central, her career at South Dakota State, her career at Sioux Falls City. She's just been an absolute stud everywhere she's gone, and I just fully expect that to be the case for the soccer program as well as a coach.
Yeah, the Titans had to deal with her for, I believe,
It's a really
4
good ball.
years. And Olivia Johnson's going to win this battle. Also chasing it down is Riley Gallagher, freshman from Harrisburg. We had to deal with her for 4 years. She graduated, and then Campbell, her sister, was an 8th grader, and then we had to deal with her for 5 years.
I was just going to say, just when you think you're out of the woods, then there's another one right behind her. Campbell's a great keeper in her own right too now at the University of South Dakota, but that family, I don't know, they have some goalkeeper genes in there. It's just phenomenal. But
Riley
Gallagher,
now we have to deal with her again as a coach.
Yeah, Riley Gallagher playing on the outside, number 28. She's leading the team in goals and assists as a freshman, and I think I said it the other night with T, but Harrisburg has an embarrassment of riches as well. So,
Number 1, Piper McKinney, junior forward. Number 3, Heidi Hofer, junior midfielder, and also number 33, Abby Ringo, sophomore defender.
Seems like it's getting to be a little warm out there, so maybe Mark's trying to make sure that some of these girls stay hydrated and get some rest early on. We're just under 17 minutes in, so he's probably just trying to keep them fresh and keep them rotated because these girls they're working hard.
Chloe Wilson looks for Ringo.
So
there's
good step
Ringo.
to the ball.
Wilson takes it
Good
back.
pressure, yep.
The drop to Giles. And now the drop to Hammerquist.
I like the patience, and like we talked about the other night, sometimes the best pass to make is the one that's behind you. You don't always have to be going forward. It's better than turning the ball over. And they're doing a lot better job of connecting their passes than they did the other night, and this is a good step by Piper.
Yep.
It's a good read, and she draws a foul. That's well done, Piper.
So explain a foul for those listening. I mean, what consists of a foul? Because we see a lot of contact out there, and we don't always see a foul.
Yeah, I think that it's really pretty subjective, and I don't know if there's a hard and fast rule that constitutes a foul. If you make contact with a player's back, that's pretty much a no-brainer. That's a great ball.
Wilson up front looking for.
Would have loved to have seen Kendra be able to get on the end of that.
Kendra.
But if the game is a very, very physical game, as like I mentioned with Taylor Halstonson getting knocked out with a concussion, so the game has its share of physicality. But anytime it's shoulder to shoulder, that's going to be pretty legal. If you extend your arm and push off, that's going to be a foul. And when you start looking at the severity of the foul, just a standard foul like you saw there was just contact that caused the other player to not be able to control the ball, or that might have been in the back. See, like this contact is fine. They're going shoulder to shoulder. They're both kind of playing the ball.
And that's fine because Wilson's staying on her feet and still able to play the ball.
Well, even if she didn't stay on her feet, that's still not a foul because they're just both going for the ball, and it's a 50-50 ball, and it's just shoulder to shoulder. But when you start getting it to be pretty intense, or if you start breaking some what I would call sportsmanship rules by, going after people's legs, or like we saw in the boys' game, kicking the ball after the whistle, that's going to result in what's called a yellow card, which is not really any different on the field per se than a standard foul, but the player does in high school have to come off the field, and then they have to come back in. So they have to leave the field of play, but they can actually have somebody substitute in for them.
Yes.
In the club game and in the professional game, if you get a yellow card, you don't have to leave the game.
Yes.
And then if you get 2 yellow cards, that results in a red card, which the red card is what nobody wants.
Yes.
And that is an automatic disqualification from the game that you're in, and you don't get to replace that player, so you have to play a player down for the remainder of the game. And you also are suspended for the following game.
Which we saw that.
We saw that in the boys game. So that's going to be interesting today for the boys to see how their already depleted squad handles being an additional player down.
And not all red cards, you can get a yellow first. You can get an automatic red for a really hard foul. So.
Yeah, and there's also what they call a last man standing rule. If it's somebody that's on a breakaway and they're the last person there, and you basically run them down from behind and foul them, that again is a subjective call. Ooh, down in the
Titans.
box. That's going to be a pretty easy one. Ran right through her back.
Yeah, the goalkeeper Munson.
Yeah. that's one thing you definitely cannot do is be knocking down keepers. It's kind of like the Tom Brady rule. You don't get to touch them.
And when there is a foul in the box, which the box is, of course, the area around the goal, you'll see the
Correct.
yellow lines. What happens when there's a foul in the box?
So there's actually 2 boxes. The one that Kate just took the goal kick from is the 6-yard box. That's kind of the keeper's box. That's one of the areas where you really, really, really don't touch the keeper. The keeper gets outside of that box, then she's a little bit more open to taking some contact. The 18-yard box is the bigger box that goes around, and if you foul inside that 18-yard box and you're on defense, it's an automatic penalty kick.
Which is
where they put the ball at 10 yards, and it's just that shot against the keeper.
And that's a big one.
Yeah, that's
a big deal.
That's kind of the no-no, but I think the biggest of the no-nos is the red card.
Number 8, Emma Watson, junior midfielder, into the game, and number 16, Avalon Thompson, a junior forward, into the game. We saw the first game this year. Of course, the Titans had 2 penalty kicks. Kate Giles buried them both.
Yep.
Penalty kick, very rarely missed, but they can be missed. Juve Bonza missed one this year that would have gave him 4 goals in a game.
Yeah, you start getting into some of these games when it gets intense and they go into PK shootouts and different things like that. The nerves get to you, and you're the only one standing out there. I kind of compare it to being the only one standing on the free throw line, taking a free throw. It's not it's not taking a regular shot or a regular free throw when you're the only one standing there.
And we have seen PKs, these games will end in a tie.
Correct.
Postseason games will not.
Correct.
So postseason games, and we've seen this a number of times. We've seen this in the state championship game. We've seen this in the state semifinal. The coach will pick 5. And do they have to be 5 that ended the game on the field?
In some cases, in some formats, they do. I don't think it does in high school, but the coaches will probably list their first 5 and then their next 5, because if it's still tied after the first 5, it will go to the next 5, and that's when it really starts to get to be interesting, and it's probably one of the most exciting and yet unbelievably stressful things in sports.
And then it gets so I saw this. I called games for Roosevelt. There was
Good job by Emma there.
It was a postseason game where the goalkeepers even got involved. It got down that far where it stayed tied and stayed tied.
Auburn's loose. That's scary. She's still loose. That's
almost
really
taken
scary.
away by Wright, and she's still going.
Loose. She just really stayed with that ball. That's unbelievable. That she just really stuck with it and just wasn't going to let anybody knock her off the ball.
That's one, to be honest, I don't think Coach Anderson is going to be real.
No, he's not going
to.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with that one. I think that one of the chances, or the chances that the T has to improve is their communication on the back line.
Yeah.
All of those girls that play on the back line or that are on the back line right now are just generally shy girls in general, and that's just something that on the back line talking is really necessary, and that's what can happen.
Nope, not called.
Just kind of pinned it between them, it looked like.
Yeah, that was, I think 3 or 4 girls had a chance to stop that any way they could, kick it out of bounds or just boot it upfield.
It's a good header by Piper.
Yeah. Wilson staying with it. Wilson sends it in.
Shot right at the goalie. That's okay. Well, in Harrisburg, they've like you mentioned, have a 21-game win streak, and they're looking pretty good here today. And they got after they play here, they play a very, very improved and very talented young Washington team. Then they play at Watertown, and then they have Brookings, and then one of probably the better games of the year, I feel like, will be when they play Pierre.
Yes.
So they've got in AA, you don't really get very many days off, and when you're the Harrisburg Tigers and you've traditionally beat the brakes off of people for the last however many years, you're everyone's Super Bowl, and everybody wants to play you, and everybody wants to give you their best, and these girls have done an amazing job of handling that pressure and getting the best out of everybody.
Harrisburg's allowed 1 goal this season. By my count, ever since that 3-2 loss to Mitchell in the first game of the year, 96-6. That's my count. They've outscored a few 10-0s. I think a 13-0 was in there, some 8-0s, 9-0s.
Yeah, when you look back at the team that they had last year, I really honestly believe that there will never, and I know never's a long time, and everybody, you should probably never say never, but I don't think there will ever be a team like that in South Dakota again.
Yeah.
The number of players that they lost, I can't remember. I want to say they lost 12 or 13 seniors off of that
11,
team.
Yep.
Yeah. And
what I had, I have 11.
Yeah, it could be 11. Oh, I was thinking, I guess I was including Tierney and Taylor in that. But
yeah, they've got 8 seniors this year.
Yeah. But with you have a girl in Rylan Pesca who's playing Division I hockey at Arizona. You have their keeper, who's was one of the best keepers in the state last year, Stella Litzen, playing at Southwest State. And just the list kind of goes on and on. Haley Christensen, probably one of the best players to ever play the game in South Dakota, playing at SDSU. There's just players playing all over the place that's, from that team. And it's just phenomenal. They had an amazing run, and Eric Christensen did just a fantastic job with that group of girls.
Coach Christensen, obviously not here anymore. Coach Fisher, Haley Fisher now is here. Did Coach Christensen just retire?
I think that, yes, but I think that it was kind of always kind of the plan. He always had kind of I would say maybe like a 3 or 4 year plan while he was there, because anybody that knew Haley Christensen at all, knew that she was going to be playing somewhere in college. And again, with Eric coaching her whole life and really never missing a game, I just knew that there was no way he was going to be able to coach high school and get to all of her games. And in true fashion, he's been to all of their games this year, and all the way out in Colorado and all over the place. But so she had an amazing high school career, Gatorade Player of the Year 2 years ago for South Dakota. And like I said, he just built a program and a culture that just has all of these girls, like I mentioned in the previous broadcast, just rowing the boat and being all on the same page and working for the same goal and going in the same direction. They just have so many good players, it's ridiculous.
Nia Ware, junior forward, in for the first time for the Tigers and checking back into the game. Clayberg, and also Hoffman, Clayberg, number 10, Hoffman, number 25.
Another
juniors.
Dangerous ball, but Maya's probably one of the fastest kids in the game today. I don't think anyone's going to win that foot race.
Maya in the back end is a burner, and the front end, Kendra Nielsen, can really move as well. 2 of the faster players for the Titans.
Well, and both of the goals that Harrisburg has scored have been good goals, but to be honest, T probably maybe got a little bit unlucky, just kind of surprised on that long shot, and then Auburn just fighting her way through the defense. There's a little shove in the back. That's just a regular foul. Now, if those fouls start adding up, and the referees usually do a fantastic job of warning the girls, hey, that's kind of enough. You don't need to be doing that anymore. And if that continues, then that's when a yellow card can definitely show up.
I see our center referee. You've got the 2 on the line. I see the center, I believe Nicole Hovdestead or something like that. She's been coming here for years.
Yeah, she's been a great official for a number of years, and is just does a great job.
So we saw that push on the sidelines. It was a blatant push. Not a big deal. I'm not calling it out for that. That's a nice
great ball.
This is Thompson on the outside. Can the ones on the line with the flags, can they call, or they have the ability to call a foul or give a red card?
Yeah, they do. The referees that are on the sidelines are called ARs, or they run the sideline and watch for things like offsides, but they can also call who the ball was off of and call direction of the possession. But they can also wave their flag if they wave it over their head. That's generally a call that there was a foul that the center official may not have seen.
I wasn't, I've watched a lot of soccer, and but I just wasn't 100% sure. I don't know if I've ever seen them make a call or issue a yellow or anything like that.
They're not going to issue the yellow. They're not going to make that determination.
Okay.
They're just going to alert them that there was a foul, and then a lot of times they'll converse about it and make sure that they're on the same page, and then that's when you could potentially see a yellow card again if it's pretty blatant, or if it's something that's kind of been a repeat offender, so to speak.
Otten and Johnson back in for the Titans, and then on for the first time, junior forward number 29. That's Zoe Creedler. We see Creedler playing today. She didn't play 2 nights ago, and we see McKinney playing today, and she also didn't play 2 nights ago. And is that because of maybe who the opponent is, that would factor into who plays, or the weather?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to kind of, again, like we've said before, who the hot hand is. And I think when you're down 2-0 at this point, you've got to try to maybe do something a little bit different. And what you might have thought was going to happen obviously isn't happening. And so he's like I said, he does have kind of an embarrassment of riches for players. So he's got the luxury of being able to put other players like Zoe in the game and have a chance to talk to the players on the sideline, like Coach Yasmin is doing with Abby Ringo right now.
Yeah, I've gone down and talked in the field with Mark before or after several games, and he's kind of said that to me off the back of the head of Sage Hoffman, that this person didn't play.
That's a dangerous ball there too.
Or this person is going to play because this team does this, or because of this. And
Well, Mark's been doing it like we've talked about before. He's been doing it for a long time. And the other day when I asked you if he was a Hall of Famer, I was not talking about a T area Hall of Famer.
Oh.
I was talking about the state of South Dakota.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like State Soccer Association or State High School Association, he should be an absolute no-brainer Hall of Famer. T area would be an embarrassment if he wasn't a Hall of Famer. I'm not sure who else you'd put in, since he's the only coach that there's ever been in the program.
Yeah, only girls coach we've ever had. He has said he's stepping down at the end of this year, and he's ready to turn the program over to whomever they choose. I think maybe Yasmin would be a good fit. You also have Brooke Piper, a former player, and Joni Hofer that's helped out in the past too, another former player. So we will see. He will be missed.
There's no doubt about that. And there's Naya loose again. She's a handful. She's a very, very talented player.
Yeah, Naya Aware for the Tigers, junior forward.
Part of the 2007 Dakota Alliance group that was USYS President's Cup national champions a few years ago. Plays with Chloe Wilson, and it's a good group of kids.
Under 8 minutes until halftime. We don't have a guest, so we'll just kind of hang it on.
No, that's fine. That'll be good.
And then I'm going to go down again and be nosy, just because Mark Anderson is so gracious with his time and letting us see inside his program. I'm going to go down and just kind of be nosy, and there's a ball in the box, and see what the coaches have to say and the players.
It would be fun to get one of the Harrisburg girls up here that I know all too well from playing with Afton to come up here at halftime. I know they'd never do it, but it would be hilarious. They're just a fantastic group of kids.
Yeah, we would do that.
I just don't think they would.
I'd like to talk to the boys coach. We have a boys game next, but I believe they're next door at the JV game, and so they're a little occupied. And I don't know if they want to come on.
Right.
Not everybody's as outgoing as you, Chris.
I'm very, very shy. I don't know what you're talking about, Chad.
Nielsen and Lekander back in for the Titans. Thompson and Creedler will come off.
If it's half as hot on the field as it is in this booth, I can see why these girls are getting breaks every once in a while.
Chris, with all due respect, we've called a lot of games in this booth where we've been dripping with sweat. And so for us, this is paradise up here.
Wow.
We've got carpet, we've got a fridge up here, and now we've got air conditioning. And which one of you guys said somebody might just move in here?
Oh, that was me the other day. I think Tom's getting a little too comfortable over there. It's like having his own little apartment or something. As long as he's been doing it too.
Yep.
Clayburg would probably just let him live there rent-free.
Yep.
As long as he kept it clean.
Yep. Wouldn't be a bad little a gig.
Yeah, get him a TV and a futon, and he'd have himself a nice little efficiency apartment there. That'd be pretty sweet. Might get a little chilly in the winter, now that I think about it.
A little bit.
Naya's loose again. I just love watching her play. She plays with such heart and plays so hard.
Giles came out to challenge her and kicks it across the field, out of bounds, Titan ball.
That's exactly what you have to do. As good as these girls are, they're all very, very suspect when heavily pressured. They're a lot more liable to make mistakes. a good good step by Kendra, good pressure.
Wilson, you see her and Hammerquist, Giles, none of them have come off the field yet.
Number 8, Claire Backstrom from Harrisburg, is just absolutely ridiculously a good player. She plays for Rob Hoffman on the Tempo Rain team, and I'm just really impressed by her. She hasn't been playing on varsity much because of the talent that they have and the girls that are sitting on the sideline like we talked about, but she's one of those kids that is just a phenomenal center back and would easily be starting for any team in the state, but she just happens to be starting for one of the best, if not the best teams in the state. There's another shot.
Over goal.
Boy, Auburn is not shy today.
Goal kick Titans. These Tigers averaging over 20 shots a game. They're holding opponents to 3.5 shots a game. So averaging 20, just getting 3.5 shots on goal a game. That's pretty crazy. They've allowed 1 goal in 320 minutes. Ranked in the top 25 high school girls soccer poll. That's pretty impressive. I remember when the USA used to do that for basketball every once in a while.
That might have been last year. I'm not 100% sure, but nationally, they were recognized nationally as one of the best high school teams in the country last year, which I don't think a team from South Dakota has ever even been in that conversation or even mentioned.
Gallagher, 2 goals this year and an assist. Scogan, 1 goal and 1 assist. Auburn Barrett, 2 goals, and they were both today. These were her first goals of the season and an assist.
She just vaulted herself to the top of the goal scoring list on the team.
Aware has scored a goal. Syverson has 1. Smithback has 1, and then assists. Hirsch, Kunzelman, Dieterman are all what are your stats.
And I really appreciate Haley and some of the other parents sending some information over on the girls from Harrisburg so we can have something to talk to them about. This is obviously a Titans broadcast, but the appreciation that I have for these Harrisburg girls and that program, just be able to share some of the information about them. I really appreciate the parents sending some of that stuff over.
Absolutely.
Their team GPA is probably over 4.0. I don't know how Harrisburg handles their GPA ranking or rating system, but there's 4.1s, 4.2s. You know, Claire Backstrom's a 3.9 and wants to play in college, so these girls definitely have the grades to do that, and I know they have the talent to do it.
Yeah, we talked about the Titans GPA. Equally impressive, a lot of 4.0s and 3.88s, and no, but the way we do this, this is a Titan broadcast.
That's a great ball.
That is a really nice ball. Here comes look at the keeper.
Oh, the keeper
comes
was
way out, and that's going to almost go out of bounds. It does. So what we do is,
that was a dangerous play.
we also try to provide information for both teams, and honestly, early on when we started doing this, me and Rick here, producer, and Les Schroeder is. We don't want to be homers, and we kind of worried about that the T people would want us to be homers, and the T people have been gracious and letting us talk about the other team and compliment the other team and be excited for the other team, and I really appreciate that out of the T community.
2 minutes remaining.
And the other communities, that we've played with, we've gotten some compliments of including them and saying some nice things about them. So we're all about.
It's really just about propping up the game and propping up these girls. Reagan Shelsky, the keeper from Harrisburg, they've got 2 fantastic keepers, and I believe they'll go probably 50-50 in this game.
Ball.
So the other keeper who normally would be starting, they go 50-50 first half, second half.
Wow.
But a lot of these girls, including Reagan, were part of that Dakota Alliance team that won National President's Cup.
Under 90 seconds to go.
So yeah, they've done. They've been getting it done. All these girls have been getting it done for a long time.
Header by Clayberg out of bounds, getting close to a minute to go.
The other thing that I was very, very impressed about with the Harrisburg girls, and again, from the bio information that they shared, we talked about some of the things that our girls have done, in the community with feeding the hungry and making blankets and doing things like that. The Harrisburg girls do a ton of giving back in different types of ways. Neighborhood soccer and Soccer Stars are a couple of programs in Sioux Falls that are just fantastic, that are not for profit, that need help and need players all the time. And these girls are kind enough and gracious enough with their time to little collision there.
Clayberg and
Ellie Kelly did not back down on that one. Auburn might have taken the worst of that. But those programs that need players like this, and these girls recognize the need and what their impact
10,
on these
9,
on these programs
8,
and these kids can be.
7, 6, 5.
Yeah,
4,
2-0 here at halftime as we hear
2,
the countdown,
1.
both off the foot of Barrett. The first one about a minute into this one, about 30 yards out, just floated it over the head of Munson, and then the second one, Barrett just stayed with it and went through about 4 Titan defenders and was able to poke it in.
Yeah, she's a little bulldog, that's for sure. She's very, very intense.
Titans have their work cut out for them. We will take a short break here, and we will come back with about 5 minutes to go or so before the second half. Halftime, AA girls soccer, Harrisburg 2, T Area 0.
A community is a place, but it's also a connection. It's where we all plant roots, raise our families, build our lives, take care of each other. It's something we have in common, and it takes world-class care to keep communities like ours strong. We work together to live, to hope, to heal, because that's what neighbors do. Here for all, here for good, Sanford Health.
Whether you're at home, on the go, or anywhere in between, less trips to the bank means more time for what you love. ReliaBank's mobile app allows you to check balances, transfer money, pay bills, and deposit checks all from your mobile device whenever, wherever. Download the free ReliaBank app and take advantage of maximum convenience. Check us out online at reliabank.com or stop into any of our 9 locations. ReliaBank. Member FDIC. Equal housing only.
Welcome back. Half 2. T area girls soccer versus Harrisburg. Harrisburg with the 2-0 lead for now. For now. I'm kidding. Harrisburg has only allowed 1 goal in 4.5 games this season. Down on the field. Went into the Titan huddle. Heard assistant coach Yasmin Sumik talking about, I don't want to get too close in the inner circle there, but it was something about the referees, and Harrisburg smart because the referees can't see it. I don't know if some of the players were complaining about a hold, some holding going on. It wasn't really the main focus of the conversation. He just reminded the girls, make better decisions, know who to watch. He let them know who to watch on the field. You should know who to watch, maybe like a scouting report type thing. He did talk about the Barrett goal, the 4 versus 1, and how that shouldn't have happened. So he says, I can tell you everything, we can tell you everything, but you guys have to go out on the field and make the final decision. So,
well, like we talked about, I think that the girls in the back line need to communicate. We mentioned that they're very, very quiet individuals individually, but as a unit, they need to be a lot more vocal. And it's kind of like, I got her, you got her, and then nobody's got her. So that's kind of a tough one. But Auburn's a fantastic player, and you can't let her beat you without giving her a little bit more of a challenge than what we did initially there.
Yeah, Coach Anderson told me pregame he wanted the bench today to be a little bit more lively and involved in the game. There's going to be a shot just off the top of the goal. I believe that was.
Was that Naya?
Yeah, the numbers are hard to see.
Number 4?
Yeah, so that would be Naya Aware, who didn't start the game but came in.
Very, very dangerous player. Very dangerous.
That was a nice shot. Just 8 inches too tall. Maybe 9. Harrisburg, for leading 2-0, didn't seem to have the ball on their end, or on the Titans' end, the majority. It was fairly equal. It was just the one quick goal that surprised everybody, and then the one where Barrett dribbled in. And
yeah, I agree. And like I said, I knew this was going to be a very, very even game after seeing these teams play. I think I've been to 4 games of Harrisburg, or this is the 4th Harrisburg game I've been to, and this is, I think, the 4th T game I've either been to or watched. And I knew they were going to be very, very evenly matched. I think Harrisburg's just taking advantage of their opportunities, where T has kind of yet to do that. And the challenge right now is going to be, Harrisburg did that into the wind, and now Harrisburg has the wind at their back, and T is going to have to figure out a way to score into the wind when they had a few opportunities and just couldn't capitalize on them in the beginning.
Wilson drops it to Hammerquist, number 38. Up the field. Wilson, nice header. The outside to Newhart. This is Hoffman. Out of bounds. No, Lakander, I'm sorry. She'll throw it in. Hoffman and Lakander, they look similar, and they were 25 and 26.
Yeah, you can't really say the blonde girl in the ponytail. Not in this game.
This is Giles, center back and a sophomore. Dad did confirm that she got all of Mom's athletic ability before the game. So Newhart drops it to Munson.
I don't believe that, so I would like to hear that on tape. Another shot.
Good idea by number 7, Bryn Scogan, junior midfielder, taking a shot, like Chris said, with the wind at her back. Not a huge wind, but a steady wind. I always look at the high school American flag to the east of us when we start thinking about the wind. It's a pretty good indicator.
Yeah, Bryn's got a goal and an assist on the season, and it's just amazing, these young girls, this freshmen and things like that are playing the game at this high of a level this early in their careers. It's really impressive.
Yeah, you had told me a couple nights ago that they've been getting a lot of contributions from freshmen, and so that, of course, is going to tell me that they've got a bright future ahead of them, the Harrisburg Tigers.
For sure.
Trying to win their 22nd in a row, nearly perfect last year, lost the home opener 3-2 to Mitchell, and then met that same Mitchell team. So the season was bookended around Mitchell. Met Mitchell in the last game of the season, I believe, won the state championship 7-1, 8-1 over the Colonels. So with that said, Colonels, did they lose a lot, or will they be a team to watch out for this year as well?
Well, when you lose, the Colonels are down a little bit this year, and I think that there's two reasons, and both of those reasons have the exact same last name. But Maya Mullenmeister was the Gatorade Player of the Year, and I want to say she had like 43 goals last year.
Oh my goodness,
which is insane. And so when that kind of production leaves your team, and now she's playing at Utah State, who is like the number 18 or 9, I think it's the number 19 ranked Division I program in the country right
Aggies.
now. Yeah, so when you lose that kind of player and that kind of production, that's bad enough. But I think the thing that might have hurt them equally is her dad, Scott Mullenmeister, who has, I do not see that as being a foul.
Yeah, that was a fall, and Clayburg was walking by her.
Yeah, I was just going to say, she kind of ran into Ellie, and Ellie being rock solid is not going to, I guess she gave her the worst of that.
So the Mullenmeister dad?
Yeah, he was the coach, and just a fantastic coach. He's played the game. He's coached Maya since she was young. He and Eric Christensen actually coached probably one of, if not one of the most successful youth soccer clubs in the state's history, with the Mitchell Ravens back in the day. Afton had the pleasure of playing with them in several games with both Haley Christensen and Maya. So having all three of them on the field at the same time sounds kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
But Scott is just a fantastic guy, fantastic coach, and he did so much for that program in the 1 year that he was there. But
Wilson takes contact.
There's that shoulder to shoulder that I was talking about, where Auburn got the business end of that one from Chloe. But Scott did just such a great job with that team. I think that's probably just as big a loss as anything for the Colonels. I think they're going to have to figure some things out.
43 has to be a state record in the
I have no idea.
Dozen years or so that we've been sanctioned. I know in years past the leader for the Titans has been in the high teens, 17, 18. I think Kunert had 18 1 year, or 17 that led the team.
Well, I was looking at her college bio. I believe it was either last night or the night before. I want to say she had 130 career high school goals.
Oh my goodness, Taylor Severson back into the game.
I mean, you talk about getting it done for a long time. I know she's been a stud her whole life, and and same with Haley Christensen. Haley got derailed a little bit with a torn ACL. I believe that was in her sophomore season, but Maya's been playing since like 7th grade, so she's been a fantastic player. But Mitchell's probably going to maybe have to figure some things out this year without Scott.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm not sure how that's not a foul and the other one was, but kind of ran through her back a little bit.
Getting a little chippy. Take away there for a second by Wilson.
It's gonna. Coach Fisher's looking to see why there wasn't a call on that one.
Yeah, hands in the air.
Well, yeah. Chloe's just out there making friends.
Chloe getting physical. Like we told you 2 nights ago, her dad told her advice is don't let anybody punk you. You know, Chloe's not the tallest player. But
see how the ball hangs up in the wind there? It's going to be, they're going to have to play some strong passes on the ground.
Extended hands into the back, that's an easy automatic call, right?
Yeah, that's
seen that a number of times out of both teams, to be honest.
And a lot of times it's just a reaction when you're playing at a high speed. It's just a natural reaction to put your hands up to brace yourself for a collision, and you just kind of wind up getting the call. It's nothing like they're not coming after him. That's got to be an easy one.
It is.
Auburn plays hard. I always called her dynamite. She's in a small package, but she's pretty explosive.
Yeah.
But I think that they're gonna have to play like this. The Titans are. They're not. They're being in AA and playing all their games in AA. The game's just a little bit different.
You made a good point. First half, there's no off weeks, or which was what I took. Easy teams in AA, whereas in you saw when we were in A, we mentioned it the other night. There were a couple of smaller schools that at times in the past have come in here with only 9 players on the field, and a few teams that you played that you knew you could probably maybe rest some of your better players and give others more minutes because it was pretty much a guaranteed win. That's not the case in AA. You don't have those easy few weeks where you can tinker
that's
with
for sure.
things.
And Harrisburg has really just replaced just an unbelievable team from last year that consisted of a vast majority of club players. I don't know how many Division I forgot Elsie Odney. There was a senior last year, is a phenomenal player. She's playing at USD. I mean, there's just player after player after player that was on that team that's playing college or playing at a Division I level and played at a very, very high level in club. So it's going to be interesting. It just looks like they didn't rebuild. They just reloaded. It looks like it's crazy.
There's the ball dropped for Harrisburg midfield. It's been on the side.
And I know you talked about the number of goals they've given up in the last few years. And again, I really attribute that to, the defense. Like Elsie Odney, like I mentioned, played outside back for them. Abby Flanagan, who's a phenomenal player that played for Dakota Alliance and played for Harrisburg last year and is probably going to be starting at University of Sioux Falls this fall. She played outside back. And then, like I mentioned, Tierney and Taylor. And I think that when we talked about the unsung heroes of the game, I think I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute, but Taylor is probably one of the best players in the state for the last 4 years. And unfortunately, at times, some of the selections for All-State and for All-Conference and things like that can be a little bit skewed towards the people who score the goals. But like I mentioned in the other broadcast, if they don't score, they don't win. And she's been just unbelievable her entire career at keeping goals off the board. And just putting them in a position. Oh, that was a little.
Got taken out, no call.
Yeah, I was going to say that apparently was incidental somehow. Uh-oh, that's dangerous.
Off. Through the field goal post, no good. Yeah. Titan goal kick into the game for the Tigers. Detterman and also Rutten, Thompson, Avalon Thompson, Mackenzie Thompson, and Kinder Nielsen. Go ahead, Chris.
No, but it's just like I said, Taylor has done probably more than anybody could ask her to do at that position and played at an unbelievable high level. And again, the fact that they're still doing what they're doing without her and Tierney on the field. And I'll just give you an example with Taylor. Taylor was named, Taylor's Dakota Alliance team that she played with Afton, they were USYS national champions last year and beat a team, Solar FC out of Dallas, that's one of the largest clubs in the country. And when you're a national champion at that level, at the highest level that our club can play at, and she was named best 11 in that event.
Wow.
And she can't even be named first team All-State. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. That, like I said, so I told her that not anything that she would ever ask me to do, but I told her I would make sure that she got her props at least from me today, because I just don't see how you can be best 11 on a national club level and not even be considered.
There's a shot right at Munson.
First team All-State, because everything is skewed towards scoring goals. I think that they kind of maybe need to review some of those policies and things like that, and figure out a better way to do it. I know you can't recognize everybody, and I'm not looking for anybody to get a participation medal or everybody to get prizes or whatever, but when you're the best at your position in the state and it's not even close, I just feel like that there should be more recognition for that.
Who decides on the first team? Is it a coach's vote?
I'm not really 100% sure. I don't know if coaches nominate and then coaches vote off of nominations or how that works. I think it's
I believe coaches. Yeah.
So it obviously can be a little political, and it can be a popularity contest, and to some degree, but it's just not a glamorous position. And like I said, you're not going to find a player that's done it as well as she's done it, and Tierney as well. But you're not going to find a player that's done it as well as she's done it and not gotten the recognition.
Right.
And I would throw Tierney in that as well, because of she was second team All-State as well.
Munson picks up an easy one.
Yeah, you can see with the wind shifting, they're playing a little bit more on that end of the field.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the end I can't see as well.
Goal kicks haven't been great. And first half pretty even. Second half, it's been all down in the Titans area. I don't even know if the Titans have got it past the 20.
Yeah, like I mentioned, they're going to have to figure out a way to, to get themselves into space, play the ball hard on the ground, keep it out of the air, because the air is just going to keep it, getting air under it, it's just going to keep it down here.
Yeah, yep.
And then you have those aerial balls that are very difficult to control, and then bad things can happen.
Titans last year, 12-2-3. 3-0 start, and then a 5-2-1 start. Made it all the way to the state championship game. This time not against West Central.
Yeah,
they won the championship game against Groton 3-1.
That Groton team last year had no seniors.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be anxious to see what's going to happen with that. Hirsch is loose again.
And anyone that's been around at least Class A soccer since its inception, easy foul, Harrisburg ball. You have to be really happy for Groton, because you've seen
100%.
You've seen them have some real struggles, and it's taken about 10 years, but here they are. They might be the favorites this year. They probably are the favorites in A.
Well, they could be. I had a conversation with their coach. Unfortunately, it was after they had lost in the state championship, and I just really commended him for everything that he's done with and for those girls. I mean, you talk about girls that would just run through a brick wall for somebody. That's not an easy thing to get done, and we talk about getting more done with less. He had a team there that was fantastic, and not a lot of people know it, but I believe about 2/3 of them also played on the number 8 ranked volleyball team in the state. So they were like Ellie Clayberg, pulling double duty and getting it done at a high level. So, but he's no longer coaching this year, which breaks my heart. So I haven't seen them play yet this year. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Like I said, with last year having no seniors.
Really nice ball there.
And again.
Goal off the free kick.
35 yards out. Wow.
Hat trick for Barrett now.
She is an absolute cannon. I used to work with her when she was younger, and she came to me and said that she wanted to work on the power and strength in her leg. And I used to try to stand in goal. I used to stand in goal and have her pounding balls at me, and I'm not going to lie, it was not very fun. So I feel for Abby on this one, but that's a really tough ask for a keeper when you've got somebody that's just dialed in from distance. And
Munson got a hand on it.
Yeah.
But that one was like the earlier one from distance where you could just tell that was going to be trouble.
Well, and that one was hit on a rope, though. That one wasn't a floater over her head. That was just, you can get a hand on it, but it's going to bend your hand back because it's hit so hard. And it's just perfectly placed. It's just a fantastic ball from Auburn.
And here come the Titans now, pushing it into Harrisburg territory, trying to get into the box. That was Sage Hoffman bringing it up the field all by herself.
Good job by Kendra pressuring and keeping the ball here. Way to be physical. This could wind up getting a little chippy if we're not careful.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more whistles in the second half already.
There's an awful lot of pride taken by both of these teams and an awful lot of competitive fire. They've all played in big games, whether it's Nationals or President's Cup or Club or Target
nice
Cup.
ball. Here's Wilson.
Ball, and she's in. Oh. You need to maybe follow up on that a little bit, maybe waiting for that ball to get through. Chloe was in a great spot.
Yep.
You can hear our parents encouraging the girls.
We do have a outdoor microphone used to pick up, the sounds of the game. And before the game, Rick, our producer, went and put a sign just warning people that we do have a live mic out there. I've watched games from home from here and heard some interesting things. Nothing too bad, but so it's nice to let people know that you are on them. And with us talking more, now we'll drown that out now, but when there has been no commentary, you can hear a lot. So maybe some people prefer that. Maybe they would prefer the conversations of Titans fans instead of me and Chris. Here goes Wilson.
Yeah. I questioned your judgment on asking me to come up here in the first place, but no, it's fantastic. I got a nice text from Eric Christensen and thanking us for doing this and for the kind words for the program that he helped to build and
Cool.
and stuff like that. He's actually in Green Bay. Haley's getting ready to play University of Wisconsin Green Bay tomorrow, so he's traveling all over the country following her, and that's the biggest reason why he can't be out here. And I think that, getting back to the program that was built, they were not very good before he showed up. They always had the talent, I think, but it just shows you the power of coaching. And when you get girls to buy into a system and a way of doing things, he's probably one of the best to ever do it, even though only did it for a short time. But I knew he was never going to stick around because he was going to be too busy chasing Haley all over the country, no matter where she played her college soccer.
Yeah, and last year, Harrisburg won this game 7-1.
Yep.
The year before, Harrisburg won 3-0. Back in 2021, the Titans did tie at 1-1.
I'm going to protest the 7-1 score.
Okay.
Afton scored on a rocket that hit the crossbar and bounced inside the goal and came back out, and all 3 officials missed it, and I have video proof that it was a goal. And the crazy thing is that would have been the goal that had her set the single season scoring record for T.
Number 7.
She tied it. She tied it.
Number 6.
And I think she set the season scoring record or season assist record. But that would have had her break the record. I think Mark didn't want his daughter giving up that record, so I think he didn't really protest loud enough. But
so Mark's daughter still owns that record from the early days, huh?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But you think about the number of goals that were scored back then. The games were a lot different back then. The level of play has improved so much over the years as the game has improved and as club teams have improved. That's a good shield by Abby.
Good shield.
Communication.
And you could see her tell Munson, I'm going to shield her off, come get the ball.
Yep.
I noticed on the sidelines, Mark said he wanted more energy and more life, and Ringo was on her feet most of the time when she was on the bench. A lot of times had her hands cupped over her mouth, yelling encouragement to Munson and other players. And
I know that that's something that is, I feel like, is missing from this team, and I think that the fact that she does that just shows how much she cares and how coachable she is.
Yep.
And the fact that she just wants to win and be the best she can be, and that's all any of these girls should be thinking about. So yeah, I think that's great that she's encouraging her teammates.
For the Titans, Allegra Waltner and also Sydney Stoliker checking into the game for the first time. We didn't see them in the first half. Harrisburg had a lot of check-ins. Nia Aware is back in. Zoe Gallagher, Bryn Scogan, and also number 16, Sarah Nasser, back into the game. They've all played before, like a line change there.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah, they're a lot like T in that regard. There is just not a lot of drop off when they start putting players in. It's pretty crazy.
And did we get a goalie change, or is that the same one that started? I see. Yeah, I think it's the same one because she was 99 and the backup is number 0 down there still on the bench. So
yeah, I'm not sure if she's injured, but I thought they were playing half the game, but maybe Coach Fisher decided against that in this game because it was going to be a little bit more of a tougher game.
Sure.
But yeah.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, Nasser is a 4.2. That's another one of those GPAs that I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But she's a 4.2, and she's not really sure, what she wants to do for college. And I don't even know if I knew what I wanted to do in college until I was almost out of college.
Yeah.
So I don't expect someone that young to know what she wants to do. But she's another one of those players from Dakota Alliance that was, part of the National President's Cup national champion this year. And there's several of the girls on that team that play for Harrisburg.
Nielsen bringing the ball up to court. Good job by her. Gets it across midfield. Getting ready to check in for the Tigers, Lily Kunzelman. Also, Delaney Rockvam, a junior. We haven't seen her yet. And number 33, Sahara Kiso, senior. Haven't seen her yet.
Delaney Rockvam, number 33.
So with under 20 minutes to go, 16:47 to be completely exact. Lena Otten back in for the Titans. Now Maya Newhart going to check back in. Looks like the Tigers and Coach Fisher might be getting some of the bench players into the game.
That again just shows her wisdom as a coach in trying to keep these girls all engaged and all ready to play. They've got a pretty busy stretch, I believe, coming up with I think 4 games in 9 days or something like that. That's going to keep them busy. So you got to keep them fresh.
Yes.
The crazy stat that she shared with me is that, and this is kind of maybe holds true for today as well, that Harrisburg's averaging 20 shots a game.
Yes.
While holding their opponents to averaging only 3.5 shots a game. I'm not a math major, but when that is skewed that bad, that means good things are going to happen for you, and that's kind of trouble for everyone else.
And to what you said before, they do have a busy stretch coming up. 4 games in 9 days. Sioux Falls, Washington, at Watertown, Brookings, and then the Pier game that you talked about that should be a kind of a highlighted one. And so, yeah, great job in playing 80-minute games to get those girls out of there with 15 minutes or so to go.
Couldn't get a foot on it. Hopefully it doesn't get too much more chippy. I think there's starting to get to be some frustration from the Titan girls.
Yep.
I like that they're showing heart and not giving up and not having bad body language and, hanging their heads or, shoulder slumps and things like that kind of show that they're defeated. They're just hanging right in there and playing their butts off like they always do.
Yep. Piper McKinney also coming back in with Maya Newhart, checking in. Newhart, a senior.
Number 1, Piper
Birthday
McKinney.
girl 2 days ago.
Number
Piper
13,
McKinney
Maya Newhart.
comes in. Hoffman and Otten come out. The pennies, you see the pennies, the green pennies for the Titans, the light blue for the Harrisburg. Can you break down the penny situation here? Some players wear them, some don't.
Well, I think it's a lot of it's coach's preference and things like that. It just really kind of helps the coach with the organization and helps the girls to understand who they're supposed to be going in for, and the fact that they know who they're going to go in for because they're handing them that penny. So that just makes sure that when they go out, they hand them something so the coaches see that they're actually going in for the right player. It's happened before where, hey, I want you to go in for Sydney, and you go in for Sydney Sherwood instead of Cindy Newhart, or whatever the case might be, so just it's just a little more for organization.
Hey, that's on the coach there.
Well, for sure it is, but it helps them to keep organized. They've got a million different things going on, and they've got, 11 girls on the field and another 10 girls on the bench that they're having to worry about, and, trying to coach while they're coach on the field and coach on the sideline, during the game.
These Lady Titans
it's a good job by Kendra controlling that ball.
Talked about the midnight
pressure.
madness that they've done, the kick off the practice, and then that idea. And it wasn't their idea. That's not an original idea. But the idea was taken by the T area volleyball team then several years later, and they started a midnight madness. And just some neat things like that. The Titans have their raffle every year. They raffle off a golf cart. And you can buy tickets to win a golf cart.
I've never had luck in that stuff.
No, but it's just something different. I know other programs will simply call and just ask for donations.
For sure.
As we see number 29 for the Titans back in, Bria Miller in for the Tigers.
Got Izzy Smith back in for the Tigers. Who's
Kreidler back in for the Titans.
Yeah, and Izzy Smith back in for the Tigers, and she's comes from a long line of very, very good soccer players. Her older sister Sophie was a staple on the back line for the Harrisburg Tigers, and I know from experience that they get their orneriness from their father, and they get their good looks and their smarts and their athletic ability from their mother. So I'm sure I'm going to hear about that the next Tigers game.
12 minutes.
But Izzy's a junior with a 4.2 GPA and definitely wants to play in college, and was part of both of those back-to-back state championship teams, and was part of FFA, and just
nice.
So they're just I love the programs that they have nowadays in school.
We see that there was no chant, but the Harrisburg Tigers have indeed started their bus. Start the buses. I don't know how many they took here today. They must have taken 2.
I don't know.
I know they have 4 from when I talked to their superintendent a couple of years ago. They have 4 of those charter buses, or they did a couple of years ago, and he said, actually at that time they had 2, and he said that everybody fights over them, who gets to take them to away games. He said, so we ordered 2 more. So they had 4, maybe they still have 4, but Titans just got into the personalized charter bus this year and just took their inaugural trip out to Spearfish. Took both of the new buses out to Spearfish last night for football.
Titan substitution number
Hofer
3.
coming back in
Heidi Hofer.
for the Titans. As we tick down close to 10 minutes to go, Harrisburg 3-0, all three off the foot of Auburn Barrett.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time Auburn had a hat trick. That's really impressive.
Yeah, 3 goals. All 3 goals are her first this year in 5 games. So she now leads them in goals after today.
That's pretty impressive when you become from not being on the list to leading the list in one game. That's amazing.
Titans after this one have a little bit of time off. They don't play again until the 5th. They go to Huron and will play at the Huron Tigers. Have they played Huron before, Chris?
I am not 100% sure. I know Huron has had its struggles in AA. There's a shot in the corner.
Yeah, they are 0-4 as of today.
Yeah, I know they got beat by Garrettson the
Yep,
other night, 1-0.
Yep.
But yeah, Huron has had some struggles with actually getting to complete games because of the 10-goal mercy rule. There's a shoulder-to-shoulder that we talked about. It knocked Emma off the ball, but is perfectly legal.
After that, Titans have 4 days off. They play on the 10th here. Nope, at Sioux Falls, Washington High School.
That's going to be a really, really good game. Washington has a forward that is probably one of the best players for her age at Dakota Alliance. It's just a phenomenal forward that is just, her name is Grayson Dubasar. I believe she's a freshman.
Is that Chad's daughter?
I am not really sure. It must be. I don't know those younger girls as well, but she is an absolute stud, and I've watched her play a couple times, and she is going to be an absolute handful for our back line.
Yeah, they are 3-0-2. They beat O'Gorman 1-0, beat Brandon 3-1.
Well, they've come a long way as a program as well. So it's they struggled for the last couple years, but they're going to be one of those teams that nobody's going to want to play.
Yep, Dubasar 2 goals on the year already. And then the next time the Titans are back here, you're going to be halfway through September on the 14th against Sioux Falls Roosevelt, 2-1-0 so far. Pier at 3-1. Sioux Falls Jefferson off to an 0-4 start. O'Gorman is 2-2. Lincoln 2-0-1 on the year for the Patriots. And boy, we've had it down in the Titans end.
Yeah,
the whole second half.
It's tough, and that's
8 minutes.
And that's one thing that again, keep going back to Coach Eric Christensen has always taught these girls. He taught them to be tough. I mean, these girls are young, but they've played a lot of games, JV wise, and I think T was about the last team to beat Harrisburg JV, and that was, I think, 2 years ago. So I think Harrisburg, these girls have never lost a game, only lost, I should say, 1 game in the last 3 or 4 years of JV competition. So he's always taught these girls to be very, very mentally tough and very, very mentally focused, and Haley really does the same thing with them. But they don't slow down, they don't back down, they just keep going. It kind of helps though too when you can continue to bring top-notch players in, player after player after player. They really have no holes whatsoever in this team. They're going to be a tough team to reckon with. Would like to have seen maybe Reese play that one back to her keeper a little bit. Gets to be kind of tough.
Lily Hirsch coming into the game, and also back in number 12 Taylor Severson, and number 28 Riley Gallagher.
I kind of joked with some of the soccer dads from Harrisburg that kind of the rich get richer. You get a girl that moves here from Kentucky, and she just happens to be an unbelievably solid midfielder. That's all you guys needed was another player. Next thing you know, Harrisburg's going to be petitioning to play in the NSIC or something. I know they'd probably like to beat Barkus too.
Well, the Titans had the same thing happen in girls basketball. A transfer come in that was one of the top 25 players in the country, and she's moved on now. She'll be playing at SDSU. So
that's a pretty impressive class that they got. All those South Dakota kids. Afton had the pleasure of playing with some of them when she played basketball when she was younger.
Stoliker back in.
I'd like to see Sydney get a few more minutes and stuff in games like this. Her athleticism is really kind of off the charts.
Track star.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really fast young lady.
Yeah. And maybe see her maybe a little bit more at the top of the formation, but she's just a very solid defender too.
Mm-hmm. Just a sophomore. Sydney Stoliker, one of the younger players on this Titans team, which is, you look at this Titans team and you see a handful of sophomores and then juniors and seniors, and you remember like I do when you had a Brenly Minert that would start as a 7th grader and started her whole career, and the Brooke Decker that played as a 7th grader. So many girls that played as 7th and 8th graders. I think Afton was starting, 8th grader?
Yeah, Mark wanted her to play as a 7th grader, and I wouldn't let her play. I don't know if I ever told her that, so if that cat's out of the bag, that's my bad, I guess.
Is she listening?
But well, she might be. She's got some soccer stuff going on at Mankato today, but there's a good
great save by Munson.
Fantastic. And
then
right
cleans it up.
Followed up by Aware.
Aware gets the cleanup after the diving save by Munson.
Naya is so dangerous. But yeah, Mark wanted Afton to play as a 7th grader, and I kind of put the brakes on that because I was a little bit nervous as to the conversations on the buses and conversations at practices with seniors versus a 7th grader. And
yes.
She was always very, very young for her class, and obviously still is, but I just didn't want her to kind of grow up too fast, I guess. And I guess for selfish reasons, I was also her club coach, and if she played high school, she couldn't play club. So we kind of needed her on our club team worse than Mark needed her.
Skogan in, Aware out.
So she would come to practices all the time, but wasn't allowed to be on the roster and play.
Yep.
But yeah, some of those girls like Brooke Decker, it's kind of legendary in T athletics in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like they played 150 soccer games, which is probably not possible. But It just seems like they were. Well, it's like Haley Fisher. Just seemed like she was at West Central for a decade.
Yes.
And she turned around and was at South Dakota State for a decade.
Yep.
And now she looks like she's going to haunt us as a coach for a decade. Who knows?
I'm guessing she works in the private sector. She doesn't work at the school.
Nope, she's actually a teacher.
She is?
Yeah, I want to say she's like a 3rd grade teacher, and from my understanding, she absolutely loves it.
Oh, great.
So I think that she was kind of in what I would say maybe like one of the hand-picked successors for Eric, and she was on the sideline with him last year and was very, very good last year. And the program that he built was just impressive, and it was meant to sustain. And he and I talk all the time and talk soccer, probably more than 2 grown men should. But his whole thing was he wanted to develop a program and make a program that was sustainable over the years. It wasn't just about having success while he was there. And he said that he feels like when he left, they had at least 2 more state championships in them. So if they could come and win 4 state championships in a row, I know he would be one of the first ones to be very, very proud of Haley and the girls for sticking with what he started.
And there is a difference. There is coaches that will win a championship, and there is program builders.
100%.
And if you're a program builder, you know what it's going to take to get kids involved at the younger level. I was talking with the new volleyball coach about that recently, that Canton Wrestling, probably the most successful program of any programs in South Dakota. That's what they did in Canton, and they still do. It's very involved. T Wrestling is doing that, very involved with the.
It's a good job by Abby coming off the line. Little miscommunication there.
A little over 2 minutes. We saw Stoliker at midfield kick the ball off of the Harrisburg defender to go out of bounds. That was intentional, correct?
Absolutely.
You can get the throw in?
It's a very, very, very smart and heady play. That's something that you can't really I mean, you can kind of try to teach it, but she just does it naturally. And
Yeah.
you've seen some of the girls kind of retreat on a ball and just play it out of bounds.
2 minutes remaining.
It's, as a
Second
coach,
half, 2
you
minutes.
always want to maintain possession, and that's just a fantastic play by Sydney in helping her team to maintain possession.
They do it in volleyball. If you see a block, it's called tooling the block. You hit it off the defender's hands out of bounds, and that's
I learned something new.
You can tool the block. If it's again just like soccer, it's a heady move. Titans aren't. Coach Yasmin Sumik said that. He said, let's not let them get 4, 5, 6 goals. You know, he knew that they were in trouble down 2-0 to a team this caliber, but he said, let's not let it get at halftime.
Yeah.
Let's not let it get
And again, I
ridiculous.
think to their credit, they've stayed in there, they've hung in there, they've fought. There's been a lot of changes and a lot of substitutions made, which is fantastic, and they've gotten some valuable time. That's a dangerous pass.
1 minute.
But you think about what they did to us the
Handball.
last couple years. I mean,
Yeah.
they literally beat the brakes off of us the last 2 years, and to have it be, I'm not saying 4-0 is great, but you know, a couple of those goals were unlucky, and
Right.
you know, and just goals that you just can't really do anything about.
under a minute to go. Titans, like we said, leave here, get a few days off. Harrisburg will play 4 in 9 days. Best of luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rest
I
of
go
the
to
year.
I go to a lot of Harrisburg games, and their fan base is pretty rabid, and they do a lot of supporting of the girls. And I just really enjoy the parents and stuff like that, and the conversations they have. They're
Yeah.
pretty passionate about their soccer and their daughters.
8.
Hopefully they let you in after today. I don't
they
think you
sh-
said
they-
anything
they-
too
No,
bad.
I don't think I did anything too bad. I don't think there's any doubt who the MVP of the game was if we were going to name that. I mean,
Squealer Smoke Shack MVP of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Auburn Barrett.
yeah.
And I think Auburn plays today.
Harrisburg 4,
The Auburn Tigers play today.
Well, that's kind of a play on words with Auburn Barrett being a Tiger and the Auburn Tigers. Even though that wasn't the outcome that we were looking for, it was a lot of fun with you again today, my friend. And
Yeah.
we got another game coming.
We got one more boys game coming. If you're going to watch that boys game, if you watch this game, we thank you very much for the support. If you're going to watch the boys game, it is going to be on a new feed. So you'll have to just close this one on out and then find the boys game, however you found the girls game. That'll be in about 20 minutes. But if you joined us, Harrisburg Tigers 4, T-Area Titans 0, we thank you. For Rick Williamson, Chris Murray, I'm Shad Hockey. Bye for now.